Imagine an airport born from a grand promise. In the early 2000s, in the dry, flat heart of Spain's La Mancha region, business leaders and politicians announced the construction of what would become one of the largest private airports in Europe. With a runway more than 4,000 meters long, capable of handling any plane on Earth, state-of-the-art control towers, and a gleaming terminal of glass and steel, Ciudad Real Airport was the physical embodiment of a collective dream to transform a nearly forgotten province into an international hub, connecting the Spanish countryside to the world. But before we get to its abandonment, let's understand how this project took shape. It all began at the peak of Spain's real estate bubble, a time when belief in endless growth seemed unshakable. Spain was riding a wave of optimism, cities expanding rapidly, highways and high-speed trains being built at a frantic pace, and easy credit fueling dreams of progress. In this atmosphere, every grand idea seemed not just possible, but inevitable. That's how Ciudad Real Central was born, a futuristic airport, initially budgeted at 500 million euros, which would soon double in cost. The project seduced banks, politicians, and business leaders alike. Headlines appeared daily. Europe's largest private airport will be built here. Construction went into full swing. The promise was clear: 10 million passengers a year, thousands of new jobs, the rebirth of the local economy. This traditionally forgotten region was supposed to compete with Madrid and Barcelona as Spain's new gateway. But as the heavy machinery dug its foundations, few people asked the uncomfortable questions. Why build such a massive airport here? Was there any real demand? Would high-speed trains stop here? Were airlines even interested? Optimism drowned out the doubts. The airport was built far from major cities, surrounded by fields of wheat and sunflowers. The bet was that, given time, progress would follow infrastructure. The terminal was enormous and ultra-modern, with spacious boarding areas, shops, restaurants, baggage carousels that would never stop spinning. The runways, among the longest in Europe, could even welcome the Airbus A380. In December 2008, the airport was finally inaugurated with a huge celebration, speeches, and sky-high expectations. The first departure was celebrated as the dawn of a new era. But almost immediately, the silence grew louder. The biggest problem? There was no direct rail line to the airport. Road access was poor, and Madrid, home to Spain's largest airport, was actually closer and more convenient than it looked on paper. The first flights were modest, mostly regional, a few chartered by British tourists. But it quickly became clear that actual demand was nowhere near what was promised. Operational costs soared. Revenues never even came close to projections. In a short time, airlines started canceling routes. Iberia, Spain's flagship carrier, never showed any interest. Other airlines dropped their fares to the minimum, but even so, planes landed almost empty. Locals, excited at first, began to wonder where all the money was going. The airport, supposed to be a symbol of development, was looking more like a white elephant every week. Meanwhile, Spain was sinking into a deep economic crisis. The collapse of the real estate bubble in 2008 and the global financial crisis hit the country hard. Banks failed, companies went bankrupt, unemployment soared. Megaprojects like this became objects of suspicion and even scorn. Ciudad Real, already running in the red, became even more isolated. In 2012, after just 3 years of official operation, the airport declared bankruptcy. The runways stayed immaculate, but there were no more regular flights. The spacious terminals, once full of promise, stood empty and silent. The abandonment took on a surreal air. Drone footage shows an airport worthy of any major international hub, completely deserted. Luggage carousels idle, shops shuttered, glowing signs shining in the darkness. Only a few security staff roamed the endless corridors. In the midst of all this, some strange stories surfaced. Hollywood film crews used the airport as a set, taking advantage of the empty backdrop. Some Formula One teams rented the runway for secret car testing. The airport also became a graveyard for old airplanes, which were dismantled on site. But the strangest chapter came in 2015, when after several failed attempts to sell the airport, it popped up online for just 10,000 euros, less than many apartments in Madrid. The listing went viral, made international headlines, and became a running joke. Want to buy an airport? Now you can. Despite the bargain price, no one wanted to take the risk. The enormous maintenance costs and the mountain of debt scared away any serious buyer. Residents in the region who once saw the airport as their salvation started to view it as a symbol of waste and political failure. Over time, alternative proposals emerged, turning the place into an aviation museum, an industrial park, a cargo distribution center, or even a racetrack for cars and planes. In 2019, the airport did see some life, briefly hosting cargo flights during the pandemic, acting as a temporary storage and logistics hub. But outside of these rare moments, Ciudad Real remains one of Spain's greatest modern ruins. Experts call it a classic case of poor planning, overconfidence, and lack of real market research. Ciudad Real Airport joins a global list of massive projects that flopped, like Mirabel Airport in Canada, or Berlin's airport, which took years longer than expected to open. They all share the same sin: putting grandeur before utility, ego before feasibility. Today, anyone visiting Ciudad Real finds a ghost airport. Silence reigns supreme. The few employees still there describe working in a place frozen in time, where echoes of past ambition linger, but the future remains uncertain. Ciudad Real Airport stands as a silent warning about the risks of grand dreams disconnected from reality. It's a lesson in the importance of planning, humility, and responsibility. Maybe someday this sleeping giant will find a new purpose, but for now, it's a monument to the idea that building big isn't the same as building wisely. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe now. Here, we'll uncover other projects, buildings, and dreams that didn't work out, and the lessons hidden in every ruin. Let us know in the comments which other failures or ruins from the past you want to see here. And remember, every great ruin once started as a great promise.